to this conference again, and welcome to the first panel, where we will discuss commons-based economies as the potential construction of alternatives against neoliberalism. My name is Nadia Sharabi. I'm working for the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation in Berlin, dealing with climate change issues, and I was honored to be invited to be part of this working group as well. So these presentations, as Claudita said already, somehow derive from studies that have been conducted before this working group met here in beautiful Barcelona and at the countryside, but they are also inspired by the discussions and impressions that we had during the past week. So first of all, I'm happy to introduce, well, let's say we'll listen to the three presentations first. Each of them have maximum 5 minutes. I have a very strict time regime. And then there will be time to discuss. So we'll discuss here on the panel, but of course you are all invited to ask questions as well. Unfortunately, it's only 1 hour that we have, so we have to be kind of, I don't know, strict or something like that. So I'm happy to introduce, first of all, Ruth Mwangi. She will speak about community currencies and inclusive credit in Kenya. Ruth herself works for an organization called Grassroots Economics Foundation, where she is a program manager, focusing with her work on 2 cities, Nairobi and Mombasa, which are both in Kenya. All right, Ruth, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Nadia. My name is Ruth Mwangi. Again, I come from Nairobi, Kenya. And I'll just do a little bit about, explain what we do in Kenya and the problems and solutions that we have as far as alternatives are concerned. Our organization is called Grassroots Economics, and the main problem that we are looking at in the slums of Nairobi and the coastal region of Mombasa is the lack of credit and cash for small and medium-scale enterprises to trade with each other when there is lack of national currency in the community. So that is the main problem that we're trying to solve. So you find that often we work with vendors, like they could be vendors, craftsmen, small, private schools in the village, small clinics in the village. You find that when there is lack of national currency due to external economic shocks, they are the ones who are hit very hard, and they end up being indebted to each other. So they often have the goods and services to trade, but they lack the medium of exchange, which is the national currency, the Kenyan shilling. And just to look at a broader perspective of the kind of challenges that we're facing today, we're facing the challenges of unemployment. We have a 40% unemployment rate in my country, Kenya. We have the challenge of exclusion, where communities don't feel included in the decision-making process of the municipalities or the state. We have inequality, and of course we have economic shocks and poverty and things like that. And these challenges, of course, begin to oblige us to rethink the way we bank and what really money is and how we use the money. And so we've introduced an alternative, but we also like to think about it as a community, as a complementary way of trading, and it's called the community currency. And people trade with these community currencies when they don't have enough national currency, but they also complement it with the national currency in that they use it together with the national currency. And how we do it, how it really works, I'd like to explain what really a community currency is. It's a means of exchange. It can be complementary in nature, complementing the national currency. It also, if you think about it, it's a private credit system that has a zero interest, and I'll show you an image showing why that is possible. And these are just technologies that are designed to help stabilize economics in different communities. So this is how it works. For example, someone called Sylvia, who owes, say, 20 shillings in school fees, rather than wait until, you know, like for a week or two until she gets the 20 shillings or 20 euros to pay the headmaster school fees for her child, she can pay the 20 euros using the community currency. And then the headmaster can in turn go to another shop and purchase like some school building materials from patients or from another person. And then that person can actually go to another shop, a vendor, and purchase some food. And then that person from the vendor can actually go to another person to buy groceries or fruits. And then the owner of the shop or the grocery can go back to Sylvia, who probably sells food outside her house. And by Sylvia accepting the community currency, that is her, that is like a zero interest loan that she has had, that she's gotten. So if you think about it, where there would not have been trade, and we have seen this, where there would not have been trade, trade has happened like 4 to 6 times. So it can really replicate trade where trade would have not happened if there was no national currency. So that is in a nutshell what we do, and how do we identify these communities to work with? We identify them by they invite us to their communities first, and then we go into the communities and do an audit of how many diverse businesses are there, because they need to have different businesses. And once we see that there's a huge diversity of businesses where people don't need to go outside the community to access services, we then have them form their own community-based organization, because we want them to be a legal entity, so that for purposes of their own democracy and to reduce dependency on donor organizations. So they form their own community-based organization, and now we partner with them by issuing them with the community currency. Our community currency is called Sarapu Credit. Sarapu means currency, and credit, of course, means credit. And that's in a nutshell how it works. And so we have also seen a lot of question around how then do we get our, if I'm a vendor, I sell fruits and vegetables, how am I going to get enough national currency to buy my stock from outside the community? Because people in the outside of that community, they probably don't use national currency. So around that question, about a year ago, we started thinking of how we could include farmers and different manufacturers to get into this program, so that the communities can be able to go outside and still purchase their stock in community currency. And so we started the community currency programs also in rural areas to link the urban and rural areas. And now most of these vendors that we have, they link with the rural areas to bring in any goods in bulk. So that is in a nutshell how the community currency works. This is our sample of our community currency. We do have the old currencies that are still in circulation, but we are moving into this new currency. They also are very territorial in nature, in that they can only be used within a particular community. We are currently working in 6 communities, and each community has a community currency that is written there, the name of their community. We include them in the design of the community currency itself, and they circulate them within the community. And the reason they don't have, we call them complementary and not a complete alternative of the national currency. It is an alternative way of trade, but not a complete alternative of the national currency, is because we still need them to use the national currency when they can, but also when they can save on the national currency and use the community currency.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Ruth.